Remember when I said that Los Ratones are changing competitive league? Well, they are, literally. You see, since their formation, Caedrel's Rat Squad have been publicly streaming their scrims, and it's been causing a bit of a shakeup.
7 out of 8 teams didn't want to scrim us. We are the team to beat, so we went to Worlds, we got quarters, we played a very intense best of 5 against one of the best teams in the world. We want to show the rest of the league and our fans kind of what makes us winners. It's their idea, we stole it. Don't misunderstand, we took the idea from them. I just personally feel like it's a great way to engage the fans, engage everyone, and just in general, do better.
But now, Los Ratones aren't just changing minds and hearts, they're changing policies, paving the way for a whole different kind of content offering around how teams compete. How far will it go, and is it a good thing? Let's talk about it. All right, so as some of you may know, our channel now specializes in Los Ratones content. Last week, we talked about them engaging in online bullying in the NLC, and were featured yet again on Caedrel's very own stream. So shout out to the lad for giving our cringy, adorable little fan club the recognition it so desperately craves. This week, we're talking scrims. So for those who don't know, part of Los Ratones' appeal is that they've basically been streaming like every aspect of their professional and personal structure. From apology letters to debates during VOD reviews to an endless sea of Pink Ward-related scrutiny, Los Ratones are truly pulling back the curtain and just showing everyone what it's really like to play on a professional or close to professional roster. The problem, as we've since come to learn, is that not every roster Los Ratones scrimmed wanted their scuffle to be broadcasted.
I mean, usually they want off stream, like usually good teams want off stream because like they take the game more serious, and like worse teams don't really have the leverage to call for an off stream. Like we would want everything on stream if it's possible, but like good teams, we want to scrim good teams, so we'll be like, okay, but please scrim us, we will do it off stream. But last time we played off stream, we feasted them 4-1, so I don't know.
Now, because of Bausa's spicy comments, and the fact that Los Ratones were apparently just cleaning up in scrims, a natural question started to arise. What are these better teams scared of?
It's a lose-lose situation for them. If they beat you, then they only beat an NLC team. If they lose to you, they lost to the Bausa Vets.
If you're an LEC team and you scrim Los Ratones and we go like 3-2, the Reddit posts are going to go wild. They will forever be known as the team that lost to Los Ratones.
Now, for better or for worse, Caedrel's point is pretty valid, right? Like if you're an LEC roster and you lose a scrim to what is ostensibly a stream team, you're gonna get roasted on Reddit. What's more, you don't really have anything to gain by winning, except like street cred for being a good sport, which I will say could go a long way. Like, I think it's become pretty apparent that Los Ratones are far from a meme, and at this point, I don't think anyone would see any shame in dropping a few scrims to them. But the idea of a professional, salaried roster broadcasting their scrims is still a very radical idea. The reason that rosters don't typically, and by typically, I pretty much mean ever, broadcast their scrims is self-evident, right? You're showing your hand before it's even time to play it. But who does that really help? Which is basically the point that Whippo made when engaging in his post-match interview just over a week ago.
7 out of 8 teams didn't want to scrim us. We are the team to beat, so we went to Worlds, we got quarters, we played a very intense best of 5 against one of the best teams in the world. We want to show the rest of the league and our fans kind of what makes us winners. It's their idea, we stole it. Don't misunderstand, we took the idea from them. I just personally feel like it's a great way to engage the fans, engage everyone, and just in general, do better.
To be fair, Whippo wasn't suggesting that all teams just start instantly broadcasting all scrims, only that they make the effort to do it once in a while, which he clarified several days ago on stream.
I think that people have this notion that we're going to stream every single scrim the whole season. It's just like, no, scrimming 1 or 2 blocks, I don't see the issue. I think that if you have troubles, essentially what I'm saying is you make 1 to 2 blocks per week extra official matches, right? Because you're streaming them in public and you're making it an event, right? And I don't see what the issue with that is. I actually think it's rather good for the scene. It's just good for everyone. It's more competitive play for everyone to watch. more exciting, better practice because you're treating it like an official match. I really don't see a single downside to it, to be honest with you, other than, yeah, instead of 8 or 10 scrim blocks that you can use to pick the same champions you're going to play anyway, because none of you actually are creative about what you play or think about or how you progress the meta. You now have 8 of those, and I think that should be sufficient, really, if you ask me.
And to be fair, there is some credence to the idea that streaming every scrim might not be worthwhile. Even someone like Inspired, who likes the idea of streaming scrims, admits that there may not actually be any upsides for the players themselves, but just the audience. Which, to Bwipo's point, may not actually be the case. But I do agree that there's probably a happy medium to be struck between just streaming everything all the time and hiding your strats under lock and key. And what's really f***ing cool is that Riot seems to agree. The LTA's new commissioner, Mark Z, tweeted last week that the league put a temporary policy into place making it so that teams could stream scrims during the split. Which does beg the question as to whether they, weren't allowed before? And if they weren't, kind of weird. The better question about all of this is whether streamed scrims would actually perform. Will anybody actually watch them? All things considered, Los Ratones are a huge content network. Caedrel is one of the biggest streamers on Twitch. Baus is one of the biggest in League. Reckless is a fucking world champion. And you got Nemesis, who has a serious pedigree both as a competitor and a creator. And then you have Velia and Crowny, who are following suit. The question isn't, should we stream scrims? The question is, will anyone care if we do? And that, I don't know the answer to. Bwipo himself made a great point about this, where he said that in traditional sports, people attend training camps and open practices all the time. If you're a real super fan of a certain org or player, then you might very well enjoy watching them engage in scrims in the same way that you'd enjoy watching them sing karaoke or do trivia or whatever. Then again, maybe you wouldn't. Or maybe only a big team like a T1 or a Gen G would actually attract any sort of worthwhile viewership. Speaking of T1, this conversation has actually become so pervasive that it got presented to Faker himself.
Faker was recently asked about streaming their scrims to their audience.
아무래도 이제 멤버가 바뀌었기 때문에 좀 팀의 성향이나 그런 것이 충분히 바뀔 수 있다고 생각하고 뭐 지금 맞춰가는 단계다 보니까 뭐 여러 시도들을 좀 해보고 있는 것 같습니다.
You're so stupid. That was f***ing dumb. You're f***ing ill. Shut up.
Sorry, I had to. That was really funny. Anyway, the long and the short of it is that we won't actually know how any of this is going to do until we give it a try. The good news is that it does seem like we will give it a try. Eventually, I hope to see Los Ratones scrimming T1 in Korea. And hopefully Faker won't be on Riven. But, baby steps. Bro, why don't we just rebrand to the Los Ratones Sports and just f***ing every day is a new Los Ratones video? What Reckless had for lunch today. In this side of the f***ing world, in this hemisphere, all right? Reckless is a f***ing hero, okay?